Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey everybody, we got a Clarey Test request, and if we got two of them actually, but this one is on Jill Stein, and if you don't know who Jill Stein is, it's forgivable because she's running for the Green Party presidential candidacy. So that was a waste of time. But anyway, someone wanted, well, I'll read the request right here. Why don't you do that, asshole? Hey Cappy, could you do a video request where you apply the Clarey Test to Jill Stein of the Green Party? She said on the Young Turks interview that quantitative easing should be used to forgive student loans. Could you also comment on the ramifications of this actually happening? Okay, thank you, sir. Andrew. All right, so we'll do. So let's explain the Clarey Test for those who are unfamiliar with it. This is how I judge politicians and in general whether or not I trust people. Basically, it's a good 4-question test to find out whether this person is trustworthy or not. And it's not universal. I mean, there's always exceptions and all that. But the 4 questions are: do you come from rich parents? What was your undergraduate? What did you study? Do you have any private sector experience? And what are you currently doing now? Where are you currently employed now? And so you want a low score. So if you get a score, a point for each, the worst score you could possibly have is 4. The best score you could possibly have is 0. And the people who have the best score so far in the history of the Clarey Test have been prohibition gangsters, because they're more honest than the politicians. So let's go through Jill Stein. We got the Wikipedia thing up here. Early life, born in Chicago, raised in Highland Park, Illinois. All right, so she's rich. She's rich. So she comes from rich folks. That's 1 point against. And not necessarily bad, but that's 1 point. Graduated magna cum laude at Harvard, where she studied psychology, sociology, anthropology. And normally we give her a point for that because that's worthless. But then she attended Harvard Medical School and graduated in 1979. All right, so you don't get a point because she ended up going into a real discipline. So if she were then to go become a lawyer, yeah, she'd get a point because law school is a worthless fucking job. Although she's so old back in the day, that might have actually meant something. But she is contributing to society. She is a productive member of the career. After graduating, Monica private medical practice for 25 years, increasingly concerned about the connection between people's health and the quality of the local environment. And there's a picture of her protesting at a coal plant. Quality of local environment, decided to turn her focus to activism, where she began to protest the Filthy Five. This is all the career. So we have what? Rich parents, does have a real job. Rich parents, majored in the right thing, works a real job, and what is she currently doing now? Medical researcher studies published. I just want to see if she's still working as a doctor or if she went full retirement. After graduating for 25 years. Okay. She retired. Because if her job is now just running for... She's also an advocate. And I do these unscripted so you know I'm not biased. She's been active since the 90s. Advocate campaign finance reform, later repeal. Leave the Democrat Party. Campaign for historical campaign. Presidential campaign, 2012. So yeah, I mean, if you're running a presidential campaign, you're not a doctor at the same time. I'm just trying to see if she's working. Yeah, she's been running since 2002, 25 plus. Yeah, I'm gonna assume now that her professional career right now is running for presidential. Yeah, she's been running for the Green Party. Yeah, okay, so she gets a score of 2. And every once in a while you find people like this. Like if you look up Phyllis Kahn, she has like all these degrees in engineering. She's a local state representative in Minnesota. So she's got like IT, didn't come from a rich family, so she gets 0 points for that. But then the gal's done nothing but work in the public sector, has been a professional activist. So Jill Stein, she only gets a score of 2. She has contributed to society. She did work a real job. And she just happens to come from rich parents. and she doesn't work a real job today. So, where would I trust? I would think she's more honest than your average leftist. I think she really actually does care, because you can't really control how you are, whether you're born to rich parents or not. But usually, typically, that spoils you. She's also pretty old, so like in the olden days, you could maybe not spoil children. That doesn't happen. Now, on to the second part. She said on the Young Turks interview that quantitative easing should be used to forgive student loans. Could you also comment about the ramifications if that actually happened? Well, the ramifications, quantitative easing is just basically the Federal Reserve printing off money to buy back bad debts of the banking industry or the federal government or anything, mortgage-backed companies, things like that. So what ended up happening, to give you guys a boring economics lesson, is the Federal Reserve, you have all these banks with these bad loans and these bad mortgages, and what to bail them out through TARP. We had TARP, but then on top of that is quantitative easing, where we print off trillions of dollars and buy back all these bad mortgages. And what that does is it takes U.S. dollars and it gives it to the banks, and the banks recapitalize. Ha, the system is restored, and now the Federal Reserve has all these crap loans. And you say, well, isn't that kind of like the magic bullet? So can the Federal Reserve really go belly up? Well, no, it can. It can just print off more money. You say, oh, so that's all we do? Yeah, but when you print off more money, that causes inflation. And you say, well, we don't have inflation now. You're right, because we have the world's reserve currency, and the world's in even worse shape than we are. So everyone is actually buying or taking those U.S. dollars. That's why they're not being spent here in the United States. If we were like, Venezuela or any other country that tried to do this and print off our money, we would have had, well, it's hard to estimate, but we would have had inflation of at least 200%, depending on the velocity of money and all that other good jazz. But that's basically what quantitative easing is it's stealing from those of us who saved up our money. I have $5,000 in my account, and the government prints off twice the amount of money. Now the purchasing power is that of only $2,500, and purchasing power is the only thing that matters. So it is basically theft without actually taking your money. It is diluting the value of the money you currently hold. Now, what's interesting, and it shows, she's obviously a smart gal. She's a doctor. Okay, well, this stupid broad never studied fucking economics, let alone morality, let alone, okay, well, we're gonna steal money. So here's what she's actually advocating. She's advocating nothing different than what we did to bail out the banks. It's no different. No different. What the banks did is they lent money to people who made stupid investment decisions. They lent money. They invested money in bad investments. All right? That's exactly what student loans are. We've lent money to students to go and invest it in stupid fucking degrees. Sociology, women's studies, English, the whole panoply of liberal arts. The whole panoply, if that's a word, I think it's a word, of the humanities. And they got to go and they pissed away the taxpayers' money that they lent them on party and espresso and $300 textbooks on lesbian French Guatemalan poetry studies. They got their bachelor's or their master's on the taxpayers' dime in something that will never pay back. And now they're saying we want to be bailed out. That is exactly, to the T, what the banker scum did. And I presume her being in the Green Party is very much against the evil big banks, but it's the exact same thing that the students are doing. It's no different. It is no different. You borrowed a bunch of money, you invested it in stupid shit, you can't pay the bank back. Now guess what? The Federal Reserve is going to bail you out by printing off more money, making all of our taxpayers, all of us savers, all of us responsible adults' money less valuable. Also that you could essentially major in a hobby and party for 4 to sometimes 8 years. So that's it. It's no different than the banker scum. It's just because they're students, oh my God, there's something different. No, they pissed away taxpayers' money. Now, it wasn't taxpayer money. Well, actually, it's more directly taxpayer money because it was federal grant loans. I mean, at least with the banking industry, it was a private bank, and then we bailed out the banks. Here, we're directly going to bail out these worthless, mindless, stupid, uneducated, sheeple, indoctrinated students. These people who think they're so smart with their masters in English. So, can we do it? Yeah, we can do that. It's immoral, just like bailing out the banks was. It's inflationary, but the only way we could do it is because we're the U.S. Dollar. We got the world's reserve currency. the rest of the world is going to bail us out, essentially, because they keep sopping up our worthless dollars. So I really don't think, well, of course I don't think, I know, if you're in the Green Party, cool, stick to green, stick to environmentalism, stay the fuck out of economics, Jill. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if Jill, this is the horrible thing about it, she has the intelligence to figure this out. I mean, if you could be a doctor, you could figure out economics, no problem. She has the intelligence to figure this out. She's either too lazy or doesn't care. And that's what's really insulting. But it's just further proof that the Green Party, fine, they have a Green Party. Tell us about environmental policy, but please stay the fuck out of economics. For the love of God, stay the fuck out of economics. Go drink your kombucha tea or kombucha fizzy tea or whatever it is you do. Just stay the fuck out of central banking. Don't dilute the savers and the earners' money by causing hyperinflation. And don't get off on the back because they say, well, we have the world's reserve currency. We can do that. See. Okay, so then we're screwing over the foreigners who bought up our debt. We're screwing over people in second and third world countries who thought the U.S. dollar had value. Which means you're racist by default. Anyway, so that's it. That's Jill Stein. I could probably convince her to change the economic policy of the Green Party, but something tells me she's a little bit of a crusaderist. I don't know. She's still married. I wonder if she's still married. She is married. Okay. Well, maybe the guy, they go kumbaya, my lord, and hug some trees. But anyway, that's it. Best of luck to all of you. Toodles.